This is sort of a follow-up from my other video, Is WoW Worth Playing, which did much better than I anticipated, so thank you all for that. Since then, I've been asked, do you think Legion is worth playing? Should I bother buying it, or keep my subscription going? Well, if you've seen my previous video, then you'd know that there is no one universal answer. However, I will try to give everyone an answer tailored to their situation and mindset. Now, just to be clear, I have not played the alpha or beta at all, since I want to avoid spoilers for myself and really get the proper experience. However, this does not mean I haven't been following closely up to its release. Although I avoid all spoilers and such, I have been keeping up to date with class builds, features, and changes to the game overall. I have been following Legion closely both before and after the launch, and I have put a lot of thought into whether this game is worth getting, not only for myself, but for people asking me, should they get it themselves. Anyway, enough of the background information, let's actually get into some answers. Before I dive into each mindset you all might have, I'll make this quick and easy for those who are on the fence on whether you should play Legion or not. For the simplest answer I can give, I must first ask, have you been observing the information of Legion both before and after the launch? Maybe not to the extent that I have, but have you been watching it nonetheless? The easiest way I guess I could explain this is when you do hear some sort of Legion news, are you genuinely excited? Are you thrilled to see some of the new features and actually really want to experience them? The feeling of seeing your class get some new and epic abilities. While you're reading or watching the Legion news update, you can already imagine how these new moves and abilities can fit into your playstyle or rotation. Are you really driven by the new stuff that's coming out, whether it be class halls, artifact weapons, or even just new animations? If hearing of these changes gets you excited, then the answer is of course overwhelming yes. Now, I'm sure some people might get excited easily, and maybe they will buy Legion and only play it for a few months or less before getting bored of it. This does not mean that you shouldn't have played Legion in the first place. After all, you were really keen. It just means that you wanted to experience it, and now that you have, you can move on freely with no regrets. However, if you've been keeping up to date and all you can really think is meh, you might think, well, it's sort of interesting, but it's not really grabbing my attention, then I don't think Legion will be for you. Moving on to different mindset and situations you might be in. Let's say, for example, you are conflicted. Some of the features in Legion are really cool and interesting, but others have really put you off the game. Let's say you are really excited about the new PvP system, but your class has changed drastically and you don't like it at all. Well, in these situations, it's up to each person to weigh up the pros and cons. If you are still stuck, then I'd suggest just getting 1 month game time if you are not subscribed, and try classes you are interested in. The core rotation and playstyle is established fairly early in the game now, so even if you have a low level character, you can get a legitimate feel for how this class and spec will play later on down the track. By doing this, you'll get a really solid grasp on if you will enjoy the game or not, and be able to make a better decision by the end of it. The next problem is not an uncommon one, which is price. Sometimes we just straight up can't afford new games, particularly something like World of Warcraft, which is one of the only games with a monthly subscription. The monthly subscription is not too much to ask per se, but you probably only think that if you actually enjoy the game. All in all, you need to weigh up, is it actually worth it for you? For example, here in Australia, the monthly subscription is $16.50 a month. If I were to play Legion, I'd also have to buy the expansion, which is $70 for the standard edition. Now, reflect those figures into the gameplay. Do you really think that this game is worth $70 plus? Not to mention, each month, are you going to be getting $16.50 worth of enjoyment from this game? These figures have probably helped those who are on the fence. Paying this much for a game, normally people are either saying hell no or hell yes, it's worth it. Out of all things affecting my decision to play WoW, the finances came out on top, and being honest, this game was nearly not worth it for me at the moment. The only reason it's not really worth it is because I've been so occupied with all the new stuff that's coming out, like Overwatch, Heroes of the Storm, editing, and my new puppy. However, I have bought the collector's edition, and when I can make time for it, I will. However, I can't get hardcore into the game like I used to, so I'll forever remain a filthy casual. One of the other contributing factors of whether you play Legion or not is, do you have friends that will be playing it as well? Although that does not sound like a very strong argument, it is always way better for you and your friends to all be playing the same game and hang out together rather than being online at the same time but playing different games. As it goes with any game out there, it's always way better when you have a friend to play with, and this could be enough to convince you to play Legion, or if you don't have anyone that's willing to tag along with you, then it could be enough discouragement to no longer play the game. The next problem people might have is time. This one is nearly up there with the finances when it comes to my choice. Do you even have enough time to play the game? As a kid, my answer would be hell yes, because I have all the time in the world with no responsibilities. What else am I going to do with my time? Go outside or study? Go fuck yourself. But now I am an adult, and I have way more responsibilities than a guy in his mid-20s should have, not to mention a full-time job, a fiance, bills, editing, YouTube, and a puppy. Again, and heaps of other stuff. So with all this crap I have to deal with, will I really have time for WoW? Or better question, will you? Sometimes we have to let things go, sadly, as an adult, and accept our role as responsible, functional members of society. Or you could say, fuck it, I'm gonna do all this and still play WoW. I mean, who needs sleep anyway? I'll sleep when I'm dead! But in all seriousness, if you really want WoW, but you know you don't have time for it, then it might be time for you to move on. At least you can always watch streamers and YouTubers do the hard work for you. Now, realistically, I could go on for hours in an attempt to answer each and everyone's situations, and whether they should or should not play the game. However, I'll leave it on this note. Like I said in my other video, no one else but yourself can actually make the decision for you. All I can do is present the factors that should influence your decision. I'm not trying to convince anyone to play Legion, or at the same time discourage anyone from playing it either, but rather shed light on the thinking process that should get you your right answer. In the end, do you think you will find genuine enjoyment out of the game? Is it something you must experience? And if you do not play Legion, will you not regret it? Is it truly worth it in your eyes? For example, you may think, hell yeah, I'd like to try a Demon Hunter. Not necessarily main one, just try for fun. But that might be the only reason why I want Legion. Then you should probably ask yourself, is trying a Demon Hunter worth $70? And will I have the time? Some people will say yes, others will say no. Either way, good luck out there, and if you still have not come up to your own conclusion, then let us know your situation in the comments section. Either I or someone else might give you the correct advice. Oh, and in case anyone was wondering whether or not I'm buying Legion, despite the fact I confirmed that I'm getting the collector's edition earlier in this video, this photo of the back wall that I face when I'm on my gaming PC should answer it for you. I'd like to thank everyone for watching and supporting my content. It helps me get out of bed every morning and continue with my hobby. I'd like to ask you guys if you'd be interested if I made a transmog competition. It's something I've always wanted to do, and of course there will be prizes. Let me know in the comments and in the poll at the top right hand corner. Every vote is very important to me, whether you're for it or against it. It helps me understand what content you guys want. Thanks again everyone, and have a good one.